Hello and welcome back to the Hero Atlas. Coming to you from the Fields of Carnage is your host, Fran Eden, bringing you the next five, which today will be Lina, Lion, Lone Druid, Luna, and Lycan. La lula lula la la. Um, so without further ado,
I've got fire in my eyes.
Lina. The sun blazes over Misrule in a cloudless desert of sky. Lina's blast of heat lightning flash fries the foot-long scorpion I hadn't noticed until almost too late. It smells like pheasant, albeit the least appetizing pheasant ever. This way, Lina says, kicking the eight-legged corpse down the dune and strutting into a cave mouth. I met the desert worm when I was 9. Sees himself as a sort of reptilian father figure, so no sudden movements or she produces a fireball. Understood. We round the corner to find him uncoiling, one glowering slitted pupil locked on me, and then he winks, shakes like a dog, and roars with laughter. You can breathe now, Lina nudges. Using flame itself, the two recreate Lina's greatest battles. The stories are as impressive as they are a dizzying display of pyrotechnics. Then, the show devolves into Lina burning unflattering pictograms of her sister in the cavern wall, getting increasingly agitated as she does. So I quietly take my leave, glad to be an only child.
Hell hath no fury like me.
Lion. I've collected thousands of souls, says the demon Asgar from the summering circle that keeps him contained. Every demon has to collect 10,000 to get promoted to Archdemon. I was just 2 away from that. Asgar had been one of Hell's shining stars. He'd collected the most pristine souls, tricking holy leaders, altruists, even an actual saint. The demon witch sorcerer Lion was among his greatest prizes. He always fought for a little guy, the demon says. But if there's only one thing he loved more than doing good, it was the adulation that came with it. Azagar promised Lion endless fame and glory if he just followed orders. The demon twisted Lion's sense of right and wrong, turning his efforts against the righteous. Once Lion's soul was well and truly corrupted, Azagar abandoned him, returning to Hell with his soul and leaving the sorcerer to face the harm he'd done. I was working out plans to corrupt a devout priest for my 10,000th soul when Lion showed up in Hell demanding his own soul back. But there are no takebacks in Hell. Lion couldn't reclaim his soul, so instead he flew into a rage and hacked the demon's hand off. Where he returned from Hell, he was full of anger and hatred. Hey, did you know that if you take a month off from collecting souls to convalesce, your tally resets to 0? Azagar asks bitterly. I sure didn't know that. So I had to start from scratch. Say, you look like you're running out of ink. I could get you a bottomless supply for a price.
Lone druid.
Lone Druid. One moment, I was scribbling notes on a mossy ridge, and the next, I was flattened behind a gnarled pine, heart hammering. They say when you encounter a bear in the wild, if it's brown, lay down, if it's black, fight back. But a bear made of spirits? There isn't a rhyme for that, so let me be first. Fear it. The old man Scylla arrived without hurry. He seemed unpracticed with non-Ursine company, but welcomed it nonetheless. His bear ambled to a nearby stream and returned with a fish, which Scylla ate raw while we talked. I took notes of our conversation, trying to ignore the bear taking note of me. He spoke of his long-vanished bear clan, and his charge to guard a sacred seed and plant it only when the world lay desolate. Eventually, I persuaded him to show me the seed. It looked like a seed. He'd been waiting a long time. Hopefully, he'd have to wait eons more. And as he finished eating and bade me farewell and vanished into the trees, I wonder what else he did in the woods. Does this jerk shit in the woods?
The Moon Rider has arrived.
Luna. So you've already met Luna? Says the Nova. Says the helmed warrior as she strides out of the night silver woods, glaives gleaming in the visible slivers of red-tinged moonlight. I have. The massive cat has me pressed up against a tree. I wagered it could swallow me down in 2 bites. 3 if it wanted to savor the taste. State your business, and be truthful, Luna warns. The goddess will tell us if you try to deceive. I tried to take a breath with the cat's paw the size of an anvil on my chest. I gasped through an explanation that I came seeking her story. The moon's glow changes from reddest to silver, and mercifully, the cat loses interest in me and pads away. Not very far away, however. Luna says she was once a great warrior whose army had been decimated. She wandered aimlessly on the brink of death, driven to madness by hunger, when the moon goddess Celimene sent Nova to test her. Obviously, she passed the test. When I go to war now, it's in her service, she says with reverence. And when I spill blood, it's for her. With this, she leapt onto Nova's back, and the pair bounded away. Celimene had saved her from starvation, but from madness, I wasn't so sure. I always get Luna and the cat mixed up. Because, like, my first thought is, why wouldn't they just name the cat Luna? Why wouldn't the hero be the cat?
Who keeps the company of wolves?
Lycan. The light from my dwindling campfire in a clearing deep in the western forest brings reflections from the tree line. A pair of glowing eyes. Then a second pair joins the first, and a third to the second, until finally a constellation. My hand falls on the short knife I carry with me. But as the first giant wolf pours itself out of the forest like a living shadow, I drop the blade in terror. It pads confidently over to me, but it's not growling or menacing. It seems curious. I whimper and turn my head as it gets close enough to stiff me. When I open my eyes after what feels like eons, I look back to see a fanged man standing there. The other wolves disperse. This forest is a dangerous place for one such as yourself, he growls. He introduced himself as Bane Hollow of House Ambry. I'd heard how his family had risen up against the Mad King, and how he, alone from his lineage, survived. But how the king's mages had cursed him with lycanthropy. I had heard the story, but still another question. When you change, I ventured, does it hurt? More than you will ever know, he says somberly. Every time, it hurts. Good kind. Oh, that's kind of sad. Why is Bane Hollow, like, maybe not the most understandable, but, like, he feels like one of the saddest stories. But that is our 5 for today. And I did it in one take. Let's fucking go. I feel very proud of this. Have a wonderful night.